This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. We may be a comic duo, but we take mental health very serious. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service and is completely online. BetterHelp is a network with over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, answer a few questions, and BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network.
You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom-picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and at a more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/amp. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/amp.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Something that we learned as kids, maybe? Definitely something that I heard as a kid. And a phrase that's supposed to make us tougher. But does it really work? Or are we just brushing aside how powerful words can be? So we're going to talk about why we let other people's words bother us and how we can stop giving them so much power and what true confidence really looks like. So first, let's just talk about the saying. So I feel like a lot of us have heard it before. If you're closer to my age, you've definitely heard it because we talked about it all through grade school. But where did it come from? I never knew this. This phrase dates back to the 19th century when it was first recorded in an African-American publication, The Christian Recorder. It was meant to teach kids resilience, which, of course, we love that on this podcast and in my books, right? We love resilience. To remind kids that no matter what people say, their words don't have to define you. I love that. I love that. I love that. I take everything internally and everything bothers me. I've gotten better, though. Just in this past year or two, I've gotten so much better, and it's really exciting to feel free. And that's really the word here, to feel free. And resilient. Focus on what really matters. Let the rest slide. But here's the thing. Words do hurt. And sometimes they stick with us much longer than we realize. So the evolutionary perspective of this is, let's talk about why we care so much about what others think. It actually goes back to survival instincts. For early humans, being accepted by the group was life or death. Getting rejected or criticized could feel like danger because it threatened your place in the community. And while we're evolving in many ways, our brains still react to rejection and criticism as if it was a threat. So the personal connection is that there's the mirror effect. Sometimes words hurt because they hit on something we already feel about ourselves. Like if someone calls you lazy and deep down you've been worrying that you're not doing enough, it just lands differently. And then you're saying it to yourself that you're not doing enough. And then you have someone that says, well, maybe you're just lazy. And then the words create insecurity and they're turning up the volume, right, on how you're feeling. So this is where things get tricky. So we often give power to other people's opinions because we think if I can just make them like me or think better of me, I'll feel okay. So not only do we have our own brains telling ourselves what we think we're doing or beating up ourselves internally, then we may hear someone else and they may not fully mean it. Let's go back to that too. We may turn their words. Someone may not use the word lazy, or they can say, oh, you had a rest day, and you had already told yourself, man, I didn't do anything today. And then they said, oh, you had a rest day? That's amazing. And then you go, oh my God, I had a rest day. I had a lazy day. I had a day where I did nothing. So think about that. Don't tell yourself that. I always tell my friends, we just had Cass and I actually just had a conversation last week about a book that I was reading, and I'll share it some other time. And the author said, You would never call yourself, or you would never call your best friend fat, ugly, stupid, lazy. Why are we calling ourselves that? If you would never call your parents or your guardians or your kids or your best friends or whoever that, why are you calling yourself that? And I'm guilty of it. So again, if I can just make them like me or think better of me, I'll feel okay. But that's a false sense of control. No matter how hard you try, you can't change someone else's perspective. And that's okay. All you're really doing is putting your self-worth into their hands. Don't do that. Let's not forget our brain's own tricks. The negative bias makes us focus on the one negative comment. Even if we've gotten 10 compliments that day, we focus on that negative. That's when we believe the negative feedback because it matches our own fears. It's like, oh, they said it, it must be true. All right, let's go back to the saying. Words will never hurt me. It's a nice thought, but it oversimplifies things. Words do hurt. Emotional wounds from bullying, criticism, or sometimes even casual comments can last longer than physical injuries. And if we pretend that they don't, we're just ignoring the impact instead of learning how to handle it. So let's learn how to build some confidence to break free. So what confidence really is? Here's the good news. We can stop giving other people's words so much power. True confidence isn't about never feeling hurt. It's about bouncing back from it. It's saying, ooh, that stung, but it doesn't define me. It's learning to trust your own voice more than anyone else's. So identify your triggers. Start by noticing when someone's words really get to you, really get under your skin, really hurt you. What's the pattern? Is it tied to an insecurity or a past experience? Think about it. Once you know your triggers, you can start addressing them. And don't forget that not all feedback is about you. Sometimes, and what I have learned now getting older is that many times it's a reflection of the person saying it. I have learned that I've had some other people in my life that are no longer in my life that they would say something to me, but it would really be to make them feel better about themselves. Like, ooh, that dress looks tight on you, or, oh, those flowers are really hitting your body weird. That had nothing to do with my dress or me. That's them not comfortable in what they're wearing. And so they had to pick the one thing that they thought they saw on me to make themselves feel better. Does this say more about them than it does me? Ask yourself that when you hear something that really stings. Are they truly telling me something that they're seeing, or are they looking in the mirror? That simple question, does this say more about them than it does about me, can shift your entire perspective. So then we have to learn to strengthen our inner voice. Think of your confidence like a muscle. You know, if you go to the gym and you lift some weights, you're building muscle. That's the same thing that you have to do with your confidence. You can't grow it if you're always relying on other people to validate you. Start with small wins, celebrate your achievements, and that's just like with anything. You know, you do something for the first time, celebrate. Whether you think it's small, medium, big, celebrate it. Doesn't matter. Remind yourself of your values and keep a list of things that you love about yourself. Put it in your phone. Write it down if you're a writer. Type it out. Put sticky notes everywhere. Keep a list of things that you love about yourself so that if something happens where you have an approach and someone comes and says something to you and you go, ooh, that hurt. That stung. Go look at your notes and remind yourself why you love yourself. So let's redefine the sticks and stones mindset. A modern alternative. Instead of pretending that words don't hurt, let's teach something more realistic to ourselves. Acknowledge the pain. It's okay to feel hurt. Like, oh, why? Why did they just say that? Or take a look and just say, okay, why did they say that? All right, what are they seeing? Analyze it a little bit, but not where it's going to hurt you. Decide how much weight their words deserve. Are they helpful or are they just noise? Get it out if it's noise. Get it out. Focus on the bigger picture. Will this matter next year? Will this matter tomorrow? Will this matter in 5 years? Probably not. And of course, consider the source, whoever's saying it to you. The real strength isn't in pretending words don't hurt. It's in knowing you're strong enough to handle them. The next time someone's words get under your skin, ask yourself, am I giving their opinion more power than it deserves? Because at the end of the day, their words are just noise. Your voice is the only one that matters. Okay, let's just go back for a minute and talk about why we may let others' words affect us. So it starts at birth. Social conditioning. From a very young age, we are taught to seek approval. Whether it's by parents, teachers, peers, this creates a habit of valuing external validation over internal assurance. Think about it as babies. We learn to sit up, we learn to clap, we learn to stand up, and everyone around us is going, "Yeah, you did it." It starts at birth, social conditioning. The fear of rejection. As social beings, rejection can feel like a personal threat. We may internalize negative comments as a reflection of our worth. Don't do that. We fear isolation or disconnection. You know, if I say this to my friends, are they going to disconnect from me? Are they going to walk away from me? We don't want that to happen. We like to be around people, most of us. Self-doubt is when we're unsure of our own value or decisions. We naturally look outward for confirmation when we have self-doubt. Criticism, though, then feels more significant because it echoes our internal insecurities. And then you're just adding on to it. Empathy misused is being empathetic, making us absorb emotions or criticisms even when they aren't valid. We mistake understanding someone else's feelings as needing to adapt them ourselves. So there's a lot that goes into this. It's a profound topic, and it ties beautifully into the idea of reclaiming our emotional autonomy. So to build confidence to stay grounded, there's a few things here that I wrote down. Separate fact from opinion. Recognize that what someone says is often reflective of their perspective, their biases, their insecurities. Develop the habit of asking yourself, is this criticism valid or just their opinion? Strengthen your self-identity. Reflect on your values, goals, your strengths. The clearer you are about who you are, the less likely someone else's words will sway you away from that. Practice emotional regulation. When you feel triggered, pause for a moment, take a breath, and then ask yourself, why is this bothering me? Does this align with my truth? Because you know what? It probably doesn't. Often the act of reflecting creates space to detach emotionally. Why is this bothering me? Does this align with my truth? Set your boundaries. We've talked about it. Not all feedback is worth entertaining. Politely but firmly disengage from the conversations, or these same people or anyone will consistently drain you. Don't let them do it. Walk away. Disengage. Develop affirmations for yourself. On those sticky notes, whatever you typed up, anything that you wrote down, combat external negativity with internal positivity. Create affirmations for yourself that reinforce your confidence. I am enough. others' opinions do not define me. Surround yourself with uplifting energy. Listen to great music. Listen to positive music. Surround yourself with great energy from friends or family, the positive energy. Spend time with people who celebrate you for who you are. Find your people. Find your tribe, I've heard people say before. Positive reinforcement builds resilience against negativity. Learn to let go of emotional dependency. A key practice is self-compassion. It's okay to feel hurt or bothered. It's okay. I'm not telling you not to. Don't shame yourself for your reaction. Instead, redirect that energy into growth. How can I grow from this? Journaling your feelings can help you process and release them too. Write it down. In the middle of the night sometimes, I am a terrible sleeper. Usually happens around 2 a.m. I wake up and I start thinking about everything that maybe I missed the day before that I have to do upcoming. It makes me feel weak. It makes me feel like I'm not good enough. So I write it all down or I type it all out in my phone and I make all the notes so that my brain and my thoughts go through my body, through my fingers and into my phone, and I write it all down and I tell myself, okay, let it go now, get some more rest. And then when I wake up fresh, have my cup of coffee, I can look through my list, and I'm always fresher in the morning. So I try not to beat myself up too much in the middle of the night. I write everything down. I wake up and I go, okay, here's how I'm going to do it. This, and that. It brings your confidence back up. Journal your feelings, journal your actions, journal what you need to do to let it go from your mind. Visualize this technique by saying, these negative words are going to bounce off me. Just create a mental buffer. I know it's hard because sometimes you hear it, or if you hear the same stuff over and over again from the same person, and maybe that person is always around, you have to become stronger. You can't let this person keep sharing negative opinions and thoughts of what they feel about you. You have to remember, they're probably looking in the mirror. It has nothing to do with you. So visualize their words just bouncing off of you like you have this protection around you, this dome of protection around you, and let it bounce back to them. Have it be a reflection of them. Ultimately, confidence grows when you make peace with yourself. I am worthy. I am good at this. I am beautiful. I am fit enough to do this. I can do this. Whatever you need, whatever affirmation you need, we're all different. Confidence grows when you make peace with yourself. And as we embrace our imperfections and accept our uniqueness, the grip of external opinions loosens. And we step into this space where we live authentically, unshaken by others' words. Let's recap real quick. So Sticks and Stones, 19th century, recorded in the Christian Recorder. Its purpose was to teach resilience and to help kids brush off verbal attacks. It has amazing intention. But I feel like in this day and age, it oversimplifies the deep emotional impact that words can have. We can't let others affect us. Strengthen your inner confidence. Trust your voice over others by focusing on your values, your achievements, and your self-worth. Instead of dismissing words, teach kids and adults to acknowledge their emotions and decide how much weight to give the criticism. Learn to focus on the bigger picture and let go of unhelpful opinions. Words might hurt. They will hurt, but they don't have to define us. The strongest voice in your life should always be your own. It should always be your own. Reclaim your power by setting boundaries, building confidence, and living in alignment with your own values, not by someone else's opinions. Have a good day. Thanks for listening.